Okay, last video in the series. If you didn't see the other two videos, go back, watch them. They kind of set the foundation for what we're going to talk about today. We already established when it comes to living wise, making good decisions, that it starts with the fear of the Lord. It starts by acknowledging that God knows best. And how do we discover what he says is best? Well, we look to the scriptures, we learn from other people, we get advice. These are the foundational building blocks to how we make good decisions. Today, what I want to do is I just want to give you 3 questions that you can ask yourself. I'm going to compile a bunch of verses from the book of Proverbs. We're going to learn an idea, and then I want to give you 3 questions that you can ask yourself when you are making a decision, when you are faced with a choice. And hopefully, if you consider what we've already talked about, and you ask yourself these 3 questions, you will make better decisions. The first question comes out of Proverbs 26, verse 11. It says, "As a dog returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their folly." You see, everyone in life is going to make mistakes. Everyone in life is going to commit folly. Everyone in life is going to make bad decisions at times. Proverbs would say, don't make the same mistake over and over and over again. That's unwise. It's not unwise to make a mistake, make a bad decision. It's unwise to make the same bad decision over and over again. There's a famous quote from Albert Einstein that says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And sometimes we live that way. We make the same bad decisions. We fall into the same traps over and over again. And then we wonder, why do I keep struggling with this? Why do I keep making these decisions? Well, Proverbs would say, learn from your mistakes. That as a dog returns to its vomit, so foolish people, they just keep repeating the same bad decision over and over again. So here's the first question I want you to consider. When you are faced with a decision, ask yourself, in light of my past experiences, is this the wise thing to do? In light of what usually happens when I hang out with that group of people, in light of what I usually do when I'm all by myself at this time of the day, in light of my past experiences, is this the wise thing for me to do? And the second question that we can ask isn't about our past, but it's actually about our present. I'm going to read you a quick list of verses from Proverbs. It says, whoever is patient has great understanding. I'll just jump to the next verse. Good sense makes one slow to anger. Next verse. Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. You see, over and over again, the writer of Proverbs would caution us, be slow to anger, practice patience, have self-control. It's this idea, don't let your emotions get the best of you. When you are going through a difficult season in life, when you have a lot of stress, when you are having fights with your parents and you feel the pressure of school or the pressure of sports, when you have a lot going on, it is very easy to make bad decisions because you're just reacting to the circumstances around you. Proverbs would say, no, there's actually a better way. Proverbs would advise us, don't let your emotions get the best of you, because when your emotions get the best of you, you usually don't make the best decisions. And a lot of times, I think one of the easiest ways to kind of disassociate all the emotions and the stress that you're feeling from making a better decision is to just ask yourself this question. If I were giving advice to someone else, what would I tell them to do? If I were giving advice to someone else in my situation, what would I tell them to do? I think this question will help clarify for you what the right decision is, especially when you have a lot going on emotionally that is affecting your mood and that is influencing your decision making. If your friend came up to you and explained the circumstances of their life, you might tell them to do something different than what you feel like doing in your life. And I think this question will help you identify what's the actual wise thing to do. If I was trying to help someone else in my situation, what would I tell them to do? It's a great way to kind of help clarify for you what the right thing is, what the wise thing is, especially when you have a lot going on that is affecting you. And the third and final question that I want you to consider when you are making decisions, when you are faced with choices, isn't just about the past, isn't just about the present, but it's also about the future. A couple verses from Proverbs real quick. It says, the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. He who gathers crops in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son. Whoever works his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless pursuits lacks sense. Over and over again, Proverbs says that wise people don't just make decisions for right now. They also make decisions for the future. That wise people don't always get caught up in what they want right now because they're focused on what they want the most. There's some famous research from the University of Stanford that's called the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. Make a long story short, in the 1970s, some psychologists conducted some studies where they basically sat kids in a room and they gave them an option. You can either eat one marshmallow right now, or you can wait and we'll give you more marshmallows in the future. And obviously the research says that some kids chose one marshmallow right now, others waited for more in the future. But what was fascinating was that these same researchers conducted some follow-up studies years later, and they found that there was a correlation between between the kids who waited for more marshmallows in the future and success later on in life. That the kids who waited statistically ranked higher in educational achievement, in SAT scores. They found some fascinating stuff when it came to brain scans, and it just kind of reminded me of these proverbs. That wise people, they store up choice food. Wise people make decisions not just for what they want now, but for what they want most. And this is the last question you should consider when you are making a decision. Well, not the last question, just the last for this video. It's this question. Ask yourself, is this what I want most or just what I want now? Most of us would say that what we want most one day in life is a good, healthy dating relationship that can turn into a marriage where we can trust someone and we can commit to each other. That's what most of us want most. And yet, what so many of us choose now is we entertain people when they give us attention. Maybe they're not the best choice for like our future, but they're giving us attention, they're texting us, they make us feel wanted and seen, so we end up settling for what we want now rather than choosing what we want most. The question that I think Proverbs would have us ask ourselves is this what I want most, or is this just what I want now? 3 questions. You look at your past, you look at your present, and then you look at your future. All of this falls under the category of God, I trust you, you know what's best, I'm reading Proverbs, I'm learning how to live wisely, and from there you can ask yourself, in light of my past experiences, if I was giving advice to someone else, and what do I actually want most? Consider these things as you're making decisions, and you'll make better ones.